Okay, let's quickly look at the field. Because
I was also talking about the Empower scheme. So I was trying to remember the Empower scheme. Yes.
Well, so now that we're gradually delving into where the thirst lies for the listener, especially the unemployed youths that are just waiting to listen to you, let's get to feel your own impression about, more like an update on the implementation of the Special Public Works Program in that creating 774,000 temporary jobs at the rural areas. And while you're doing that, you probably will tell us the criteria, because a lot of people want to know what's the criteria for this, so you can just inject that into it.
Okay, well, talking about creation of jobs and what this government is doing about it, apart from what I mentioned earlier, this is one of also the various major steps government is taking to ensure that the very vulnerable, they have something in their pocket to also start small businesses. The 774,000 jobs, in brief, is a program that aims at picking 1,000 youths from each of the local 724 local governments in Nigeria. 1,000 youths each, making 774,000 for a period of 3 months, and engage them in some social work, some community service, and the community service is not tied down to just one kind of work. We have different local governments in Nigeria and there are different needs, and so each local government will determine what they want to use those youths to do for that period of 3 months. And in the process of doing that, they will get paid 20,000 per month, which is 60,000 naira for the 3 months. Now, some people have asked, and I want to address this for 1 minute. Some people have asked, oh, this is just temporary employment. I disagree, it's not temporary employment. In many cases, this is long-term lifesaver for many families. I'll tell you why. In many rural areas, you see, we elites in the urban areas, we are so far removed as to what is happening in the rural areas. And then it's so regrettable that we are so far removed from the life people live at the rural level. This program is aimed at reaching those people at the rural level, at the grassroots level. Now, 60,000 for 3 months for some families is enough to reinvest them in their small businesses. You won't believe that people borrow as much as 10,000 naira, 5,000 naira at the rural level, even with interest rate. If you look at money lenders at the villages, sometimes they will lend you 5,000 naira for you to pay 8,000 back. They will lend you 10,000, 15,000. So people are looking for small loans in this country. Like me and you, will be looking for a loan of 1,500,000. The biggest men will be looking for loans of billions. People have different grades and the kind of loans they look for. At the village level, people are looking for loans of 15,000 to add to their tomatoes business, to add to their vegetable business in the markets. I hope you know that. People in the, there are some women who carry these head pans to hawk around the village for a whole day. The whole content of that head pan will not be more than 2,000 naira. The whole baby will put mango on the head. The whole mango basin is about 2,000 naira. So, and they'll be looking for 10,000 naira loan to add to that business. Now you now put 60,000 in the hands of these people for 3 months. You have boosted businesses at the smallest level, at the rural level. And these businesses, what they will now use to train their children to school, pay school fees. It will survive them for years to come, because that money will bring more money and bring more money.
Okay, one of the said there's some information trickling in that the forms for Nigerians
I'm coming to that.
So while they're doing that, let's begin to feel that impact.
I'm coming to that. In fact, that is what I want to even address, because I have seen so many correspondents to me, both online, social media. Oh, this thing, why should not do it online? Do it online so that people will just register. And this is exactly one of the things I'm talking about, the elites and these graduates all over the place now. They think that everything these days revolves around the internet. There are a number of people at the grassroots level in the villages. There are people who don't even know what the internet is all about. These are the targets of this program. These kind of people cannot go and apply online. If you want to put it online, you have missed the entire purpose of the program. The young graduates will take it over. The real people that they should go to will never get it at all. Because only these young graduates and all that have access to the internet to go and enroll people. We are talking about people who are, for example, because of the area boys, the Agdoro boys on the streets and all that, those who are uneducated. In fact, there are many villages in Nigeria, they all have data. They don't have access to internet connectivity, and this is a locally based program. So we had no choice, absolutely no choice, but to eliminate that and to say we need direct recruitment, people who know them, and that's why we brought a multi-sectoral selection committee, those who should know them locally. For example, we brought in head of the churches, CAN, in each state. The CAN member, the head of the CAN in that state, we get it across to all the churches, the head of the churches. Even the most remote villages, say, can we have 10 names from your church? They know that the churches know the people who want jobs. The same thing with the imams, the mosque. We brought in the head of the mosque of the Islamic organization in each of the states, the Nigeria Supreme Council of Islamic Affairs. They will go to all the mosques and say, can you give us names from all the mosques? And so also the head of market women, they are there. The National Union of Road Transport Workers, they are there. Civil society organizations are there in the selection committee. And all of that. So many multi-sectors.
So the people they lead will not be the auditors.
They will not be, people they lead. Yes, they lead. The leaders of these communities, leaders of these multi-sectoral, bodies will now pick and select these names on a balanced basis. We try to balance it across the country. So people should please understand why we did not go online. It is too elitist. In the context of this program, it's too elitist to go online.
Okay, so if there are any questions, those people, of course, leaders, imams, and churches, they should be able to walk up to the father or the imam.
No, because we have a selection committee that are fully briefed in the states. They answer those questions, and their numbers. Don't forget that their phone numbers are all published everywhere.
So it's not hidden.
No. Everybody can reach them. The 20-man selection committee for each state, everybody can reach them. Including the secretary of the NDE. Because this program is driven by the NDE, the National Director of Employment. I am the supervising minister for the NDE, and also the head of the board of the NDE by law.
What about this issue of doctors? Let's talk about it. The resident doctors, what's going on?
Well, yesterday we negotiated with the doctors till about very late in the night. Thankfully, the federal government had, in fact, before the strike, and it was, I think, a matter of misunderstanding on their part, and we made it clear to them, the federal government had met 6 of their 8 demands, and the other demands were demands that we even said we were going to start addressing very soon. So there was actually no reason for that strike. The hazard allowances, the federal government had paid 18.9 billion of the hazard allowances to the doctors, and another 8.9 billion or so, 8.9 or 3, I can't be, or 8 something billion was being processed by the Accountant General of the Federation. At the point, not because of the strike, at the point they decided to call up the strike, go on strike without even getting back to us. It was an ongoing conciliation effort that the federal government was involved in, that my ministry was involved in, and the government side had shown enough good faith to this process. In fact, like I said, the original budget was 20 billion to pay hazard allowances, not their salaries, just because of this COVID period. We had to increase their hazard allowances from 5,000 to 20,000.
We're talking about 20 billion naira or 20
billion naira.
Wow.
20 billion, and you can imagine was totally unbudgeted for. This is the money we had to go and pluck out of nowhere to fund them, and to show the sincerity of the president, to ensure that the doctors who are in the front line, they have enough attention. The personal protective equipment, they acknowledged yesterday that the federal government had made enough available to ensure that the doctors are safe. That's one of their major, demands, the personal protective equipment, and we have done enough of that. In fact, federal government had even given to state governments in a federation like us that we shouldn't give to state government. Federal government have made personal protective equipment available to state governments. On the issue of insurance, the federal government had paid 9 billion to insurance firms already. So it was no fault of the federal government. Made 9 billion available for life insurance, for doctors, for different sectors of the economy. And the money was there. They acknowledged that the federal government has paid 9 billion. They said they were still processing some claims and the claims had not been paid. Was that the fault of the federal government that the insurance company had not paid most of those claims on time? And you know how insurance companies do, they go through processes, confirm and verify before they pay. And those are all the things that happened within this year. Mm-hmm. So on the insurance issue, the federal government had paid. On the PPA, we had scored 100%. And the other demands too on I talked about the hazard allowances. Federal government had paid about 18 billion. And then with this one added now that the federal government is about to pay, it now comes up to 27 billion. So what the president did was to approve extra 8 billion over and above the 20 billion that was originally budgeted. So we have even overshot the runway. We have overshot the runway in respect of the hazard allowances. So we have done very well. But thankfully they understood yesterday, and hopefully they will call off the strike today. But then we said, if we come and sit down like this and within a few hours we understand ourselves and we show you, why did you not come to us first to say how far with our conciliation effort? Why you strike is the last resort for trade unions. And we told them yesterday, look, I come from the background of civil society. I come from the background of unionism to another. I support them. But I told them yesterday, I said, look, enough is enough. Because even according to the ILO convention, you cannot go on strike when you are under essential services. And if you do, the federal government has the right to stop your pay and to replace you when it comes to essential services. That is ILO convention, it's not Nigerian law, ILO convention. So it's the strike in the first place was illegal, totally uncalled for and illegal. And I told them that. And thankfully they apologized.
For every action there is an implication.
Oh yes, those are essential services.
Okay, first of all, a lot of people are very, you basically grew up in the eyes of Nigerians. Everybody knew you basically from the start to this moment, so you cannot hide.
No,
and now that you are where the critiquing is going on, what's quickly, how do we try to mitigate? How do we try to avoid this strike, but in a minute if you can?
It's dialogue. I encourage the unions to ensure that they use it as a very, very last resort. We are always there as conciliators. There's no union that expresses its desire to start a strike or its grievance that we don't intervene immediately. I'll give you an example. We finished with the doctors yesterday. Today, Johesu thankfully gave notice of their strike. They didn't just start strike. Johesu, the joint health workers, as I leave this story, we are going to prepare for them today. And we are going to drive that negotiation late into the night today, Johesu, to also ensure that we forestall that industrial action. So we want to encourage them to ensure to know that, look, we are here as conciliators, Ministry of Labour. Or let me be more precise, I am here now.
Okay, we'll take a break on that note. We'll take a break on that note so that people can take a breather too, to be able to now bring out the questions that they really want, because we'll soon open the line in a moment. Our guest on the program is none other than the Honorable Minister of State, Labour and Employment, Mr. Festus Keyamo, SAN. And the lines to call immediately after this break is 08, there are a couple of lines, 2 lines, and one other line dedicated. 0807 622 6771. I hope you're able to get that. 0807 622 6771 and 0705 149 3324. 0705 149 3324. And for SMS, you can begin to write that SMS in case you don't get across. 0705 864 2473. Let's take a break.
Radio Nigeria, uplifting the people and uniting the nation.
Into your favorite program, Have Your Say, on the network service of Radio Nigeria. Now, we have in the studio none other than Mr. Festus Keyamo, SAN, and you've heard all you needed to hear, especially with regards to the employment part. Except if you have other questions, he's here in the studio, the people's lawyer. But this time he's the minister, so we are expecting a lot of questions from our listeners. If you just join us, we've been speaking with him on the way forward, especially with regard to legal matters, on how well the federal government has tackled labor matters and also improved the welfare of Nigerians. Join the conversation right now by streaming live on www.facebook.com/Radio Nigeria Network. So that means if you want to see some pictures, moving pictures, you will probably want to quickly go for your Facebook, link. www.facebook.com/Radio Nigeria Network, or simply Radio Nigeria. Simply Radio Nigeria. You can also follow the conversation on YouTube via Radio Nigeria Have Your Say. That's for YouTube, Radio Nigeria Have Your Say. The lines again, I promise to call them one more time. 0807 622 6771 and 0705 149 3324. SMS only for this one. That's and for WhatsApp and SMS, you don't need to call this line. 0705 864 2473.
The way you sounded, I think doctors are just easy to come by. We don't have enough in the first instance.
Hello, what's your question, madam?
My question is, who would replace the doctors with? We were saying they used to go by the convention or whatever. That they try to see legal and they lay them off and replace them. Replace them with who?
Okay.
I'm sure what I'm trying to say. So what I'm trying to say is that, from what you said, you can see there's a gap in communication. So they need deputy to the trust deputy. That's why they don't trust the government. We don't trust whatever we promised. Then for the 734,000 jobs you're talking about, but for me, it's like a regular kind of work. And the 20,000 every month. And then I can't see, instead of massive humanity to manage what, that 10,000 cannot even help them feed themselves. And if they have to transfer themselves to where they're going to do this job, they cannot stay in those guys. So for how long will you continue to do this?
So what would you suggest, ma'am?
Create an enabling environment. Nigerian youth are resilient. We have power. Now we are not the electricity and whatever. They are saying that it's not everybody. But the people that are going to say that out in price are the ones that are going to add that transfer the burden on the populace. Create an enabling environment. Our youth are resilient. And let them have free acquisition. Empower them. Empower some of them that have been destroyed. They are not out in the labor market again. I heard some of them calling in some of their programs, saying that they don't have, they're not in what they think, and they're out in the labor market again. So that makes sense. Why don't we go continue like this?
Okay. Thank you very much. She's visibly agitated there, but it's all right. We'll address that. A lot of people, someone just bringing the feedback here that half bread is better than no, I don't know. But let's listen to the minister and move on to the next one. Hello.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, sir. What's your name, sir?
Thank you very much. My name is Comrade Marcel, and I'm calling from Babimimbo. I'm not coming to Fenway State.
Okay, Marcel.
Let me say good morning to the minister in the studio there. It's unfortunate that we are not getting you guys from Enugu here. But I just want to say something in regards to this particular.
Sorry, before we go on, which avenue are you using to monitor us right now?
I've known about that the minister is coming. We started it to the radio station in Enugu. I think they're having issues.
Okay, but can you get by your Facebook and those channels we said where the internet? Can you?
Exactly.
Okay, very good. You're following.
So please, I want to say, Minister, sir, you have been trying the work the ministry fashion out to give Nigerians job. I think this particular job, the way it was being said earlier, that I got it. This particular job is for the downtrodden, those ones who cannot, who don't know anybody. But currently, as we speak, I think most of the politicians, they have hijacked this particular forms that you brought. So politicians are dishing it out to their relatives and their allies. So which I don't believe he never settled much thing as you have it in mind to help those ones who don't know anybody in Abuja, who don't know anybody in most of the government in Nigeria. Please, if there is any other way that this particular thing can get to those people who you think supposed to get this particular job, I think it can help us to move together as a country. And I must thank you the way you have been working. I've been hearing about Festus, Keyamo. I know you're a good person, regardless of what anybody is saying. The way you have been following, I've been following your case through the FCC and all that. But for me, this particular program, it will be a success if these particular forms will come out from those politicians who are holding those forms to ransom as I will speak. Because in any way I have seen it is playing out as I'm talking to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Marcel. I'm sure the minister will also tell us when we see it. Okay, just we need one or two more questions, and then we take the reactions. Oh, hello.
Brother?
Yes. What's your name, sir? Where are you calling from?
My name is Isibel Onyeneke, and I'm calling from Owerri in Imo State.
Okay, Isibel Onyeneke. Okay, in Imo State. Go ahead.
Right, recruitment. We have professionals who are in the Public Service Commission and then the National Directorate of Employment, NDE. They cater to recruit people. We should not be overlooking them whenever we do anything that has to do with recruitment. We should allow them to carry out their professional duties. Above all, Honorable Minister, there is need for us to find a program where we give soft loans to skilled youths. They can start their businesses. We give them loans that can help them take off. And above all, For us to be sure of employment in this country, we need to revive all our moribund industries. Let the government pick some industries in the 6 geopolitical zones. Let them work and let us create employment for our people. It is very, very important, and the time to do it is now. Thank you, Honorable Minister, for this signal for me making.
Thank you very much.
Let's allow the minister now. One more question, and then we will.
Hello.
Yeah. Go ahead. Hello, who is this?
Yeah, this is the radio senate of Mr. Andrew Ajayi.
Very well. Go ahead. Andy, where are you calling from this time?
Well, I always call you from Akoko in Odo State, but I'm in Port Harcourt today.
Okay. Go ahead.
Mr. Minister, State Labour, Festus Keyamo, greetings to you.
Good morning.
I want to say that, sincerely speaking, as a Nigerian who also belongs to the civil society group, I want to say that this type of jobs that you want to give to Nigerians, I want to believe you know it is hard work, because once this government leaves by 2023, that jobs will not be there anymore, because I can give you historical antecedents of such jobs that has to do with shopping, NAPEP, name them. If it is proper, I think government should be more open to Nigerians to bring volunteer ideas that will help this nation to grow. If you and I will agree that this by 2023, this whole ad hoc thing will end, what is the need to start it in the first place? Because I was thinking that as a Nigerian, when we see our prime situation, the way we are situated in West Africa, and also very important in Africa, we don't have business importing all manner of things that we are importing, but rather to make Nigeria a manufacturing hub, a science and technology and industrialized hub. But I don't know what the level of preparation of this current government is doing.
Okay, I think we can leave it there. We can leave it there for continuity. I'm sure the question is, around the continuity. How does it continue so that we don't have any? Because I even get extra because we are told 1 minute for every caller. I think we've really exceeded that 1 minute already. So I'm sure you already know the movement. If you don't mind, let's quickly look at that. Would that be okay? Okay, fine. Let's listen to the minister before we go to social media.
Thank you very much. Ada, I appreciate your call. Ada from Jos. Just to say that the ILO convention is a convention applicable all over the world, and especially to those who are the countries that are signatories to the ILO convention. The principle enunciated in the ILO stated in the ILO convention is irrespective of whether you have enough of the people to replace them or you don't have enough of the people to replace them. The fact that you don't have enough people to replace striking workers, essential workers in the country, is not a reason to now nullify the ILO convention. I only just stated the ILO convention and what it says. Whether we have enough people to replace them or not, or to even perform their duties, we will get to that bridge when we get there. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. And the fact that you are also an essential worker in the country, and you know that your services or the withdrawal of your services will lead to loss of lives and properties, for example, the security agency, it's not a reason for you to now hold the country to ransom. Patriotism should be number one. Well, this country does not belong to Muhammadu Buhari. People make that mistake to think that the country belongs to the people in power. We all own this country together. We are all joint owners of this country. So when you say you want to go on strike and you allow Nigerians to die, you are destroying your own house, your own country. It is not the children. It's not my children that will die. It's not the children of the elites that will die. It is the children of your fellow Nigerians who are perhaps underprivileged as all of us that will die. So why don't we put patriotism first when we are offering essential service? Because we are all co-owners of this country. Nobody has this country owns it higher than the other person. I am just in government temporarily to serve. I'm a servant. Tomorrow I'll be out of this office, somebody will come there. I'm not the owner of this office. I'm not the owner of Nigeria. So once we realize that, we should be patriotic enough, humble enough, and dedicated to the service of our country. It's not that because we are opposition, we want to pull the country down, or because you know that my services are very much needed now. I will hold the country in the juggle until I'm paid. You know, so that is the point I want to make. So the fact that whether we have enough doctors or not is irrelevant to the issue of the ILO convention. It's a matter of law. If you don't have the right to go on strike, then you shouldn't go on strike. For example, will you be happy if you wake up one morning and see that all policemen, all the soldiers have withdrawn their services in their house and armed robbers are now on free reign? Free reign, that's one of the essential services I'm talking about. One of the essential services is security, health, and all of that. And the armed robbers are knocking on your door, you pick phone, you call the police station and call the army to say, sorry, we are on strike. Handle the armed robbers yourself. So that is my sister, that is the situation with the ILO convention. The second one is about, you said, you complained that, in fact you said it so derogatorily, that the 7,000 are just for laborers. My sister, laborers are Nigerians. And you should praise the president. This is the first president that is thinking of the livelihood of laborers. In the past, no government has thought of people at that level, laborers, to give them job. In fact, my sister, you have just confirmed that these jobs are for laborers. They are indeed for laborers. The government did it for laborers, not for the elites. I can see you speak very good English. So maybe it's not for you. We'll create an enabling environment for other sectors of the economy. But what we have done, we are not saying that this 774,000 job is the answer to our unemployment problem. We did not say so. You are not talking as if Nigeria, the government is boasting that this is our solution. No. This is just a small program to take care of laborers who are Nigerians also and who contribute to the economy. Can you build a house without people carrying the cement and the block on the? These are the kind of people these jobs are made for. That's one. For Marcel in Enugu, he said the politicians have hijacked the jobs. Let me tell you this. Go online, you will see the phone number of the CAN chairman in Enugu. You will see the number of the Nigeria Supreme Council of Islamic Affairs. You will see the number of the National Union of Road Transport Workers. You will see the phone number of the market leader in Enugu. Call them and ask them whether they don't have slots. They do. But the politicians also have, because the politicians are Nigerians. What we did was to make sure we moderate it this time so that they don't take it totally. So when I was, making this point in public that I didn't want them to take everything, like they did the other programs under other administration. This was the point I was making. But they are Nigerians. They have constituents. So if we are giving to market women, we are giving to road transport, we are giving to Christians, we are giving to every other person, then they should also have. So they have. So maybe the ones you see are the ones that were giving their own numbers. And they are also recruiting their own numbers too. So please, that is for that. Other people they have, call them, they will confirm to you that they have other sectors. Quickly, Fidel from Imo, he said we should allow NDE professionals to do recruitment. NDE, they are the secretaries of the selection committee and the chairman of the board of the NDE. And by law, the minister supervises NDE. That is why I am piloting and monitoring this process. They implement. I make the policies. My office makes the policies, give directives, then they implement. That is how government is run. The minister is the political head of every agency. He gives the directives and they implement. So that is what is happening.
Okay, let's. If we don't have any other one that is really itchy, I think we have some people that have quickly gone to the internet and drop some questions there. He says this one is well. Let's look at it quickly. Yarapu Fabian Mtayemi. That's from Benue State, really, from Benue State, Yarapu. Good morning. Concerning the 3-month span employment of young... Hello, let's go again. Concerning the 3-month span employment of young Nigerians, which you would be supervising, we know it is temporary, but what would be their fate after 3 months? I'm sure you explained a while ago that they should gather some part of the savings and continue from there, but we will hear more about that, so that, because continuity is still recurring here, Honorable Minister, sir. How would your ministry partake in the economic sustainability plan? This is from Mustafa in here in Abuja. The Honorable Minister, may the Lord help you achieve the vision you've initiated, and you've also let's go for that. We will always be standing for the common man on the street that has no senator or representative. So basically, they are now saying you are the senator of the people. So let's go. Nicholas Adeshina from Abuja. Good morning, Mr. Presenter, and your guest, the Honorable Minister of State for Labour. The strikes being undertaken by the Oshibajo-led ESP Implementation Committee has created for the creation of jobs as one of the bedrocks. What has been the challenge so far, as witnessed by your ministry? I'm sure you probably know about that program. This is Rose from Oshun. My question is about the Special Public Work, SPW. I think the program is really for youth because it's all about community works, but there are many old people applying for it in my area. So there's a competition between old and young people in that labor bracket that you just mentioned. So my question is there any way the old will be distinguished from the youth before the employment? Thanks, sir. I think these are the questions. Okay, this is just one last one. My question is, this is Salisu from Katsina State. Also on the program, my question is on the program, and it's about the ASU strike. What are you doing about it? Okay, so as we had the PTF notified that schools are okay to reopen. So ASU strike, PTF has opened up that people can go back, because of the coronavirus, they can now go back to school, and by taking care of some of the laws that have been put in place. But ASU strike now in more like an obstacle. What can you say, sir?
Oh, thank you very much. But quickly, let me just finish up with Andrew Ajayi, from who said he normally calls from Akoko.
Yes.
He's calling from Tips. And then I answered one or two of these questions.
Yes.
Andrew complained, my brother Andrew complained very much that these jobs are just ad hoc jobs. And as such, he did not see the value for these jobs, so they are ad hoc and they are temporary jobs. My brother, there's nothing permanent in life. The whole thing about jobs is to make sure that you make good use of any time you are working in order to improve your own livelihood and to save for the future. Even the jobs that are government jobs, you that are a civil servant, that is to be in service for 30 years, is it forever? 30 is probably is also temporary. It's temporary to the extent that it is 30 years. After 30 years, you now say, okay, I have saved enough for my retirement. So even if it's 3 months, even if it is 1 month, the whole purpose is, I'll give an example. The person talking who is an elite probably, if you see a job of 1 month, but that job pays perhaps 100 million, will you say that, oh, because it's temporary, it's just 1 month, I will not take the job, even though it pays you 100 million naira in 1 month? It's in fact because you know that after 1 month, you have enough to now sustain yourself for a long time. The 100 million you are thinking of for 1 month, this money is like 100 million to 60,000 to some people who are laborers, for them to set up their businesses and set sail. You
have to be in their shoes. You have to be in their shoes.
You have to be in their shoes to do that. It just on the lighter side, some people said somebody went to church to pray and was praying to God, to give him 10 billion naira to start business. And somebody was praying by his side, so the person was asking for 10,000 to start. The person said, look, take your 10,000 and leave here so that God will answer me alone. And the prayer was answered. So different people with different priorities. Okay, so please, people should understand that these jobs are important to laborers, and laborers are part of Nigerians. They are not foreigners. They are essential to the economy. I imagine pumping 46 billion naira, not to the top echelon of society, not to the middle class, but this is the first government pumping that kind of money to the lowest class of society. So if you can reflect the economy at that level, because the entire money is 46.4 billion, the 46.6 billion we are paying to this itinerant workers.
Okay, let me just say
that level to reflect the economy.
Before we continue, one student sentence from Albert Wakaps in Abuja says, developing of a nation is more like building a nation, and it comes by building the people. I suggest that you develop the people direct by empowerment program with a starting park. That should be a starting park, sort of, after their little stipends here, and they give them a starting park to start the business. Bring it down a little bit, okay? Because the other people, like the pastors and the imam, must be given some allowances too for conducting and coordinating.
We're talking about starter parks. There are starter parks everywhere in Nigeria. Many of the agencies, my ND has so many starter parks. The Ministry of Trade and Investment has so many starter parks. There are many programs. So people are doing hairdressing equipment, makeup equipment. They are training for them. There are also small equipment like welding equipment, tailoring equipment. Look, there are starter parks everywhere.
Okay, just one more, and if you can still do that, but pay the 3 months at once to help them have a good starting park. Okay. Rabi Abdullahi Samaru is for the state. Thank you very much for your input. Okay, we have someone in the line. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Okay, let me see if I can take that as a last call for now. What's your name, sir? Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, what's your name, sir?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Tell me your name.
Yes, my name is Ibrahim Mohammed from Gusoza Thursday.
From Busoza Farste. Okay, very well.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Mr. Olege.
Go ahead.
Good morning.
You don't have much time. Go ahead, Mohammed. Go ahead.
Hello, good morning.
Okay, go ahead. Good morning. There's another person.
Yeah, good morning. I'm Chief Charles Rubio. I'm calling from my hometown. We're going to the Legal State.
Okay, Charles, 1 minute. 1 minute, Charles, go.
All right, sir. So, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Obuha.
The minister
Thank you. Good morning.
of State, Keyamo.
Good morning, sir.
I always see you call TV discussing and I like your time. So what I'm saying here is that why not empower the graduates have graduated and have done their youth corps on the spot as they are being the alphabet to go home. As they are going home, you empower them, they will help us a lot to establish their own project.
Okay, I think the point is made. As the NYC...
Just quickly, just as we are having a program for the laborers, there's Empower program for the graduates. So there is program for everybody. We know that we cannot clear everybody at once. But you know that the Empower program has batch 1, batch 2, batch 3. One batch is about going out now, another batch is coming in. So there's a program for every cadre of society, please.
Okay, Honorable Minister, that lady from Osun State said that there are old people and there are young people contesting for the small stipend you're offering.
But there's no there's no age limit. Even the old people, they're also part of society too. Even if it's a sweep, those who are 67.
Okay. So everybody join the queue.
And quickly, just to say that I've also begged all the selection committees to give women more opportunities. Women are caregivers. The women will manage this money more than the men.
Our mothers are
our men, they will go and drink buku.
Okay.
But the women are caregivers. They will take care of this money.
Hello? I can hear you. Hello? Okay, so it looks like the other person just left on. I wanted to give you the last call. Someone was on the line a while ago. Okay, let me take one. Okay, the host from Osun is still there. She was just taking her own question. Maybe we'll just go finally to Katsina. Okay, maybe there's one more one. I want to Zamfara. No, we're taking Zamfara. Let's go to Katsina again. Good morning to you all. I'm using this medium to welcome the invited guest, the Honorable Minister of State Employment, Labour and Productivity. Sir, my question is, what procedures should you follow to select the 1,000 beneficiaries from each local government area? I'm sure he has answered that, because you know the nature of the country. Okay, so and then one from Johannesburg. Okay, that one has been answered too. Hello. Well, you're not with your hello. Can you hear me? I don't think he's listening. That's all. So I think that would be that.
Let me talk about ASU. Let me just say
yes.
A word about ASU before I go. Just one word about ASU. Before the pandemic broke, ASU said they were going on strike. Let me tell you where we are on the ASU issue. Well, despite various small little issues they are bringing about their problems, the one central one that strike true, that is central to everything, is that they are insisting they will not enroll in the IPPIS. In other words, all other unions, other government workers, and they have all enrolled to ensure that we want to clean up the payment register in Nigeria. We want to ensure that people don't receive double salaries. We want to ensure that we eliminate ghost workers. And I think it is laudable that government has the political will to enforce the IPPIS system. But only ASU in this country now says they want to pull out of the IPPIS, that they will not do it. They allege that it is not a perfect system and all of that they are developing their own system called UTAS, I think Universal something, that they are academics, and so they have the ability to develop their own payment system to indigenous. We say we're happy because don't forget that the president is a president that is a sucker for local content. Once anything is local content that is working, the president will fall for it. And so we told them, okay, when do you have to develop UTAS? What time? Because we can't keep waiting forever. They said the first time they couldn't give us a date. Now they said they will take about a year plus or thereabouts to develop youth house. Okay, fine. We said no problem. But in the meantime, migrate to IPPIS. Go and enroll in IPPIS. So that we begin to clean up the register immediately. Once UTAS is ready, we signed and we made a commitment to write in federal government. Once your UTAS is ready, we will migrate all university workers, all us to UTAS. They said no.
So that means they can be temporarily on IPPIS. Then when they develop their plan and you've agreed.
We have agreed to migrate to the UTAS. They said no.
Wow.
They said no.
Okay.
They also raised concerns that there are some lecturers who are also visiting lecturers. They are receiving salaries from other. We said no problem. IPPI has a platform for allowances. You will not receive double salary. We will pay you one salary, but all those other things will classify them as allowances. And the IPPIS will not eliminate those other payments. We only classify them as allowances, and there is a platform.
For that.
For platform, they said no.
I think there's an element of not understanding one another.
No, they understand. There's an ulterior motive somewhere. There's something that they are not telling Nigerians. They said no. And government cannot allow one union to overpower government and be over and above all other parts of government. Workers of government that have decided to register in IPPIS.
Let me give you 2 minutes to round off. What would you tell Nigerians? The ones you know why? Okay, 2 minutes, right? Okay, a minute and a half, all right. Okay, 1 minute to the production crew because we are hitting the time. Let's see. Wow.
We want to tell government, they want to tell Nigerians that even though the figures are not salutary, the unemployment figures are not salutary, we are not proud of them, but government is working very hard to ensure that they create various opportunities for employment. We want to also say that we are not blaming the past, but we should recognize that this program, the problem did not start today. The problem did not start today. Enabling environment when we were supposed to be planting and getting ready for this type of population explosion and all that, we did not plan. We ate our future away yesterday. But government is not blaming that. Government is doing everything possible to ensure that various platforms are created for people to have employment and for people to be self-employed, especially to acquire skills to be self-employed. The 77,000 job is not an answer to our unemployment problem. It's just addressing the laborers and the very, very poor in the economy. There are other sectors of the economy that are being addressed. Empower and all that, it's addressing other sectors. So please, Nigerians should be patient with this government.
Festus Keyamo, SAN. In fact, Radio Nigeria will be very close to office from now on. You're very, very close to office. So that because some of these things we need to be breaking it down for the listener and on the radio channel. We'll be very, very close to your office. So let's say thank you very much, Festus Keyamo, SAN, for being a part of this production. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, that was the Honorable Minister of State for Labour and Employment, Mr. Festus Keyamo, SAN, on how well the federal government has tackled labour matters and also improved the welfare of Nigerians. We want to say many thanks to Conrad Labe, Hassan Hussein, they are the news producers, online editors was, the editor we had one, Timothy Bamidele, ICT, Israel Chiokaha, studio manager Prince Hapunne Ugweze, engineer Hassan, photographer Sadiq Sarumi, camera, we had two of them, one of them was very much active here, Funuwa Oloyede, and we have Chinedu Omegwa, and we also have facilitator Oluwa Damilola Umi, producer Oledo Umbiwe, executive producer Sami Suleiman, indefatigable he was. Special thanks to Director General of the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, Dr. Mansour Liman. Join us next week for another edition of the program Have Your Say. I am Yahya Umar. COVID-19 is real. Stay safe. Goodbye.